Welcome back, everybody, to the KC Sports Report. I'm your host, Michael Darcy, and today I have the pleasure to bring on my guy, Rio Robinson, who covers the Washington Commanders ahead of this Chiefs-Commanders matchup on Monday Night Football. It should be a good one, but no Jaden Daniels due to a hamstring injury, but a couple good news on the wide receiver front for the Commanders. You're going to have both Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel in this game. Rio, tell me how you're feeling going into this game.
I feel rejuvenated now that Terry and Deebo will be back on the field. I had to watch Jaden throwing the ball to Robbie Chosen Anderson, Luke McCaffrey, Jalen Lane, and Chris Moore in Dallas last week.
That's gross. That's disgusting.
It's bad. It's really bad. It's just like, hey, Jaden, put on a cape and fly, brother.
Yeah. And he's been able to do that very early on in his career. And so far this season, it hasn't gone according to plan. Right now, you're sitting at 3-4. Is there still that expectation to get to the playoffs, even if the division might not be in range?
Yeah, that word playoffs is like he should not be named around here right now, but it's gotta be still division because we've dropped 4 games in the conference already through 7 weeks of the season, but we're past the point of punting seasons in the middle of this. And I know it feels bad when you're living in it, when you just lost back-to-back games versus the Bears and the Cowboys. It's like, what are we going to talk about the playoffs for? But Jaden's not significantly injured. We're finally getting our weapons back on the offensive side of the ball, and we've got a ton of big prime-time games coming up. We go from Monday night versus y'all to Sunday night versus the Seattle Seahawks. They have to play for they're 3-4. They're only one game under 500 and a few games back in the division. They can't punt the season right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, if the Commanders were in the AFC, they'd still very easily be in the playoff race just because the AFC is such a crapshoot right now. Right now, the Chiefs are out of the playoffs and still the betting favorite to win the Super Bowl. So it's very odd in the AFC, but the NFC's got a lot of teams like the Packers and unfortunately the Eagles that, have started off their season, and they've had some moments where they've slipped, but overall they've gotten off to a good start. And so right now it's very top heavy in the NFC, but going into this game, you're not going to have Jaden Daniels. The line right now is 11.5. The Chiefs are favored by 11.5, and I think obviously if your starting quarterback was playing, it would be a different line. Marcus Mariota is going to start for the Washington Commanders, which is a terrifying thing because the last time that the Chiefs saw Marcus Mariota, actually they might have played him when he was on the Raiders, but Marcus Mariota beat the Chiefs with the Titans back in 2017 in that playoff game, and it still scars a lot of Chiefs fans to hear his name. So I think that is an advantage for Washington, but what do they have to do offensively in this game if they want to win?
Run the hell out of the football, complete passes to Terry, Deebo, and Zach Ertz, and let the time tick, 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 tick away. Our best form of defense is to not let 15 get on the field. We cannot let Patrick Mahomes be on the football field. So we have to possess the football, and we have to score and be efficient on offense. It's simple.
It's simple, but at the same time, it is very difficult to do. Do you know how many minutes the Chiefs had the ball against the Raiders?
How many, man?
They had the ball for over 42 minutes of that game.
God. Oh, my God.
Now, I think there's levels to this game. The Commanders, even without their starting quarterback, are a better team than the dumpster fire in Vegas right now. And, something that, when I look at the Commanders, you got Zach Ertz, you got Terry McLaurin, you got, Bill Krosky-Merritt, a lot of weapons on that offense that could hurt you. The question's going to be, do you trust your OC and do you trust Marcus Mariota to make those big-time plays to at least keep them in the game?
Yep, and I was just telling you back on my channel, this is the type of game that could give Cliff Kingsbury a job. Everybody keeps pairing Cliff Kingsbury parting ways with Washington to take a head coaching job. You're not going to have a bigger audience than against the Chiefs on Monday Night Football in a game where not a single person in the world is giving your team a chance to even put up a fight. We're 11.5-point underdog. You know what? Last time we were that big of an underdog, we were 10.5-point dogs to the Detroit Lions in the second round of the playoff. Jared Goff is not Patrick Mahomes, and the Detroit Lions losing franchise is not a dynasty like the Kansas City Chiefs. But I'm saying this team loves to be counted out, and that backs against the wall underdog mentality Cliff may call one of his masterpieces here in DC, because I think it's going to take that kind of performance for us to have a shot on Monday.
Well, that's why it's so unfortunate, because we were talking about it on your stream. This was a game that before the season we're circling on our calendar because, ready. It's the vet that is the best in the NFL, and then you got a guy that came into the league last year. I think the guy's a top 5 quarterback when he's healthy. I think he's that good. He's got the clutch gene. I don't think that last year the roster was all that good, and he was able to propel them into the NFC Championship game for the first time in, I don't even know how long. How long was it?
It was 33 years, and I just turned 34 a couple weeks ago,
wow.
So it was the first time I'd ever seen it.
and so to do that in your rookie season, I think he kind of put the NFL on notice. The issue is right now he just hasn't been able to stay healthy this year. This is the third game that Marcus Mariota is going to have to start. You guys have been able to stay afloat. This is going to be a difficult challenge. And, we talked about the Chiefs' offense and how many different ways they can beat you. What concerns you most about this Chiefs' offense?
One, your quarterback. So I guess that's too easy of an answer. Y'all got my guy Speed Racer Rashee Rice back. Him and Xavier Worthy, they give me nightmares. Also, I don't think Travis Kelce is the same tight end he was years ago. He gives me nightmares as well. Everything other than your running backs gives me nightmares because my defense can't stop a soul right now. My defense cannot stop we can't get off the field. We can't tackle. And if you have any speed at the receiver position or any after the catch ability, you have a chance to have a chunk play or a big play or take the top off of our defense because safety help doesn't really exist here in Washington.
I'll tell you what, that probably doesn't bode well then because the Chiefs operate on speed and yards after the catch and all that kind of fun misdirection that Andy Reid loves to do. But, it's interesting when I look at Washington's defense. Bobby Wagner, a guy that was elite in Seattle. He's still playing pretty good football. He did pop up on the injury report, but he's going to play. I look at a guy like Marshawn Lattimore. I wanted the Chiefs to trade for him last year. Has that guy really worked out?
Oh, no. It has not worked out here. He's probably had about 2, maybe 3 good games of the about 12 that he's played here. But no, he looks like a shell of his former self. He doesn't even have the same fight in him because remember, he was a dog. He was a nasty, I'll fight with you. He was just like George Pickens was trying to talk stuff to him and he wasn't trying to talk it back. He just seems like a broken man and a shell of his former self out there. And it's to the point now where he almost has that Benjamin St. Juste reputation where you expect a completion or a pass interference every time you see him in coverage.
So is that going to be a guy that Patrick Mahomes targets on Monday?
I mean, teams have done it all year. Honestly, our rookie second rounder, Trey Amos, is like the only corner not getting picked on that much. Mikey Sanders still and Marshawn, they get picked on a weekly basis. And the Mikey thing breaks my heart because he was such a fantastic player in his rookie season and we made him wear so many hats for us last year. But I want the Marshawn thing to work desperately because we traded some nice capital to get him. But of the trades that we've made, Laramie Tunsil, Deebo Samuel, Marshawn Lattimore, this is the one that hasn't really worked so far.
Well, you mentioned on your channel, Deebo Samuel has been a different wide receiver in Washington. How much of a game is he going to have on Monday for this team to have a chance?
Hey, I was saying, through our first 5 weeks of the season before he acquired this heel injury, he was the most valuable player for the Washington Commanders through the first month and some change. So The silver lining to Terry holding in all training camp and not practicing was Debo's connection building with Jaden Daniels. And you saw it immediately as the season started. We didn't just have Debo doing the gadgety stuff we saw in San Francisco, the jet sweeps, the options and stuff like that. We got Debo running a full route tree. We got vertical threat Debo. Like, there was a few weeks this season without Terry on the field that Debo was our only vertical threat in the wide receiver room. Not to mention, he's been returning kicks before he was required to be the wide receiver one. He was number one in the league in kick return yard. He got 3 kicks north of the 50-yard line in the first 4 weeks of the season, but we had to pull him from that and let Luke McCaffrey do it because he had to be the number one guy because Terry missed a month of football. But our 1-17 are back and primed and ready to go for Monday Night Football. Thank the Lord.
I'll tell you what, the Chiefs special teams unit, and specifically on kick returns, you can break off a big run. They're not great at, opposing teams will start at the 30, the 40.
Okay.
You can break off a big return. And we still have questions about if Harrison Butker is going to be consistent making kicks. So there is some chinks in the armor to this Chiefs team. One of their strong suits is the defense, and the defense has played extremely well this year. What scares you the most about this Chiefs defense?
What scares me the most about the Chiefs defense, and before I get to that, hey, our boys can return some kicks, so you should definitely keep an eye on that because Luke McCaffrey gets a kickoff to the 50 every week, and every time we put Debo back there, same thing. And our 4th-round pick, Jalen Lane, he's a 4-3-2 guy. We have some returners on this team. But what scares me most about the Chiefs defense, he's getting up there in age, but Chris Jones definitely is somebody you always have to have circled on the game plan. But what scares me the most is your linebackers. Your linebackers get active. All 3 of them were guys I was interested in. Their respected draft classes coming out. Your linebackers, and I really like Trent McDuffie, man, but your linebackers seems like the strength of that defense.
They've been playing out of their mind. Leo Chenal, a guy that they drafted, has been a developmental guy, but now he's good in coverage, and, you can put him all around the field. So I think the linebackers are a strong point. I definitely think the secondary has seen great safety play from Brian Cook, and Trent McDuffie's looked really good at corner. Haven't really used Christian Fulton, the guy that they signed this offseason. He's just been a healthy scratch when he hasn't been hurt. I do think that one of the questions is going to be, can the Chiefs pass rush get to Marcus Mariota and generate any pressure? They've struggled against a lot of teams to do that, and I think Washington's offensive line isn't a slouch.
It isn't. But if I would tell you, it's been a mixed bag, and it's coming together. If you're going to attack somebody, go at the rookie. Go at Josh Connerly Jr. because he's had his moments this year where it's looked at times really, really bad.
If you could have Josh Simmons or Josh Connerly Jr., who would you have had?
I don't know, man. You're telling me that Josh Simmons is missing games for mysterious reasons, but when he's on the field, he looks lights out. Josh Simmons looks real enticing, but, I don't even know what's going on with the player, so, I don't know. I'm going to work through the growing pains of Josh Connerly. He's a guy who played left tackle his whole life and is now being asked to play right tackle. So he's learning a new position, and he definitely doesn't have NFL functional strength yet. So the good looks really good. It's just the problem is that the bad looks like, maybe Andrew Wiley needs to get back into the game.
We'll take it from someone who watched Kingsley Suamataia play snaps last year. He was so bad at left tackle, they benched him and then kind of ruined his confidence. And then this year he's transitioned into a very nice left guard. So even if there's not hope at right tackle for Connerly Jr., maybe he swings inside or maybe he has a resurgence on the left side if
he's a tackle. He's gonna be a tackle. He ain't got no choice but to be a tackle over here. Now you're a tackle, brother. You better learn right tackle. You got Laramie Tunzel teaching you the ropes. You better learn it and get stronger.
That is true. Both teams spent a lot of assets to strengthen their offensive line. I think both teams have quality units. Trey Smith right now is up in the air. It's probably going to be Mike Caliendo starting. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but right now it seems like that back injury is at least something to monitor. Okay. But I think the Chiefs are probably coming into this game the healthier team. I do think that they can just overmatch Washington a little bit offensively, and I think defensively Steve Spagnuolo licks his chops when he gets to play backup quarterbacks, and unfortunately Marcus Mariota is kind of coming into a buzzsaw.
I don't know, man. You told me that's boogeyman around Kansas City, man. Last time he went there, he started the Mahomes era. What's up? Let's go, Marcus.
He did indeed give a lot of Chiefs fans PTSD throwing that touchdown pass to himself. Thank God Darrelle Revis is not going to be out there playing corner for us in 2025 because he was actually the corner that got beat on that play.
That's crazy.
Talk about a crazy callback. But I do think it's going to be a really fun game. Should be interesting one way or another. I'm not sure if Washington's going to take the dub, but I want to get your final score prediction.
I'm going to say 30-20 Chiefs. And okay. I know our Washington fan, Rio, come on, man, give us something. Listen, my fan brain, by the time we get to Monday afternoon, will have somehow convinced myself that without our starting quarterback, we're going to go up to Arrowhead and beat Patrick Mahomes and the surging, fully healthy Kansas City Chiefs on Monday night. But as we sit here on Friday, October 24th, I'm not there yet. The Chiefs are just too much, but it is going to be a sight for sore eyes to see our wide receivers back on the field. And I would love to see Cliff have a good game plan. 30-20 Kansas City, 10-point game. It does not quite cover that spread. I think we go out and play with some damn dignity on Monday night.
Offensively, the Commanders have enough weapons to stay in the game if Mariota's playing well. Like, Debo, even though he didn't look great in San Francisco, again, he's had that resurgence in Washington. I have so much respect for Terry McLaurin. I think that, Krosky Merritt's a guy that Spags praised. I think he has really come onto the scene well. I mean, they've got weapons on offense. It just really sucks that Jaden Daniels isn't going to play with that hamstring injury. I got 35-17 Chiefs. I think it's going to be one of those games where the Chiefs get out to a lead, put some pressure on Mariota, and we'll see how he likes getting blitzed. I think that's probably what's going to happen on Monday. But, Rio, it was an absolute pleasure to get you on the show. My final question for you is, where can the people find your great content?
Rio Robinson on YouTube, shows called Rambling with Rio, social media, Rio_Robinson91. Catch me on a game day. I'm yapping for hours and live reacting to everything taking place on the field.
And guys, all of Rio's stuff will be linked in the description of this video. Hit that like button, subscribe for more daily Chiefs content. Until next time, guys, thank you for watching this video. And as always, go Chiefs.
Hail to the Commanders, baby.